All right, what it do, ladies and gentlemen, what it be, baby. Welcome back to the Off the Dome Podcast. Today's date is September the 4th, 2020. Just after watching the Houston Rockets take down the LA Lakers, in Game 1. Just after watching the Miami Heat take a 3-0 series lead over the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 3 earlier today. I'm going to be getting into both of those games. Holy shit, what a day it was for the basketball community. Massive day, not only in the NBA, but also in other sports around the world. More specifically, the NHL did have 2 Game 7s today. Not that the majority of people really give a flying fuck about that league, but, as someone who appreciates good old competition, and you can never go wrong with watching a Game 7 or 2, especially when they're 2 in one day, I'm not complaining. Today was a great day for sports all over the world. Let's get right into it. Starting off with the earlier game from today. Golly, the Milwaukee Bucks. They really are down 3-0 right now. The Milwaukee Bucks are down 3-0. They were my pick to make it out of the Eastern Conference. They're my pick to represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. I think there were a lot of people's picks to represent in the Eastern Conference, but they're dead. They are down, and really they're looking bad. They're looking out. That fourth quarter, what happened? Jimmy Butler just legit tore the Milwaukee Bucks apart. Now I'm gonna tell you something. The main thing that I think we all need to take from this game, the Bucks versus Heat game, is the Jimmy Butler effect. This man, his influence on the game, his impact on the game, and his value that he brings to his team on game day goes far beyond his actual talent. It goes far beyond what he can actually do with the basketball. It goes far beyond his ability to score the basketball, his ability to defend the basketball. This goes into just the mentality of, all right, it's game time. It's Game 3. It's a massive game for myself and my team. Massive game for the NBA as a whole because my Miami Heat team has a very good chance of reaching the NBA Finals. And fuck it, let's go win this motherfucker. Jimmy Butler showed up today, and he got off to a slow start, but in the fourth quarter, this man steps up. He stepped up in the fourth quarter early in a way that I think that really has gone under the radar in a lot of people. We all know the 17 points, but early in the fourth quarter, he was attacking the rim and he drew a number of fouls, which led to the Milwaukee Bucks fouling a lot. The Miami Heat were in the bonus with like 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That means every single time, no matter what kind of foul it is, no matter where the foul is taking place, the Miami Heat are shooting 2 free throws for every single foul. Jimmy Butler, his aggressiveness to start the fourth quarter led to them. He set the Miami Heat up for success. The Milwaukee Bucks could no longer foul. They no longer could give away cheap fouls. They had to defend everything, and they were scared to give away fouls. But the way that the Miami Heat played on defense was just ridiculous. What they forced. The way they forced Giannis and the Bucks to play was simply superb. But what this shows me, and what I love to see about the NBA now, and we're all starting to see it now as these games get bigger and bigger, is that defense wins championships. Defense is what wins. Defense wins. You see that all regular season long. The theme is 3-point shooting. It's 150-point games. Everyone's exploding for 50 points. Even in the first round, even in the bubble, the 8 games before the playoffs started, all these massive scoring explosions. The very first round, you look at what Jamal Murray did and what Donovan Mitchell did, is ridiculous. But now in the second round, and even toward Game 7s in the first round, that Miami or the Denver versus Utah Game 7, it's defense. The score is 80-78 at the end of the game. It's defense. You look at Houston Rockets, what they did. We'll get into the Rockets game later, but Houston, they didn't win this game because they were amazing on offense. They won this game because they strapped the fuck out of LeBron James and Anthony Davis and the rest of the Lakers in the fourth quarter. They clamped the fuck out of them, just like what Jimmy Butler did to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis came up short on defense, and Jimmy Butler ate him alive. He destroyed Giannis on offense. And Jimmy Butler was a better defensive player. But I think the Milwaukee Bucks more lost this game than the Miami Heat actually went out and won it because of how bad because of how bad Milwaukee's defense was, especially in the game. Milwaukee had a 10-point lead, I think, at one point in the fourth quarter, and it quickly shifted. Once the Miami Heat got going, it was too late. Jay Crowder was great once again. And the Milwaukee Bucks, I hate to say it, but they're looking more and more like the Atlanta Hawks of 2015, 2016, where they go out there, they win 60 games in regular season, and in the playoffs, it's a whole other story. It really is. They got 4 games hung up on them. Now, I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks will lose this in 4. I think the Milwaukee Bucks will win the next game. I think the Milwaukee Bucks will win the next 2 games. I'm taking the Miami Heat in 6 games because the Bucks are an all-time great. The Bucks are a great team. They have the best record in the regular season. They have Giannis Antetokounmpo, who had an all-time great regular season. And I think that there's just enough talent on that team for them to win 2 games in series. I think the Milwaukee Bucks will win the next 2 games. Moving on now to the game that I just finished watching, the game that really kind of stressed me out because I just don't want the Lakers to win, Rockets versus Lakers. Now, this game was great. as I'm not really a Rockets fan, all right? I did predict them to win the championship about 3 months ago, so I kind of, have a little bias towards them, especially now that my Spurs aren't in the playoffs. I've been cheering for the Rockets to win a championship because it'll just make me look better. And also, I want to see all those Russell Westbrook and James Harden haters proven wrong. I would love that. I would want nothing more than to see James Harden and Russell Westbrook win an NBA championship together, and Mike D'Antoni win an NBA championship together. Those 3 have been critiqued like no other. Over the past, really 5 years. And game 1, he went exactly to plan for Houston. Listen, they on offense, they did their thing. All right, James Harden got his 36 points. He was rather efficient, especially in the first half. Now, the score was 112-97. The game kind of got away from the Lakers toward the end of it. A lot of easy buckets. Same as the Miami versus Milwaukee game. Miami did get 115 points, I think it was, but it was a lot closer than a 15-point game. Okay. Anthony Davis and LeBron James in the fourth quarter are a problem. They are, and not in a good way for the LA Lakers. They combined for 6 fourth-quarter points. Russell Westbrook, a guy who gets clowned completely every single day. He's a choker. Russell Westbrook scored more fourth-quarter points than Anthony Davis and LeBron James did combined. As anyone who's been paying attention to the Rockets versus Lakers games over the past, really since the Rockets turned small ball, and really anyone who's been paying attention to a lot of the Lakers games, Anthony Davis coming out small in the fourth quarter isn't something new. I've gotten used to it by now. LeBron James, on the other hand, that's something that I'm like, you got to step it up. And Anthony Davis, I expect him to have a small fourth quarter. I really do. Russell Westbrook, he was 1 of 5 from downtown, but that 1 3 that he hit was spectacular. He hit 24 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. James Harden did his thing. 60% shooting, 50% from downtown. And defensively, James Harden, he stepped up. He stepped up, and it happens every single game. Every time the Rockets take on the Lakers, who's going to guard Anthony Davis? Who can guard JaVale McGee? Who can guard Dwight Howard? Who can guard LeBron? The Lakers are too big. The Lakers are too strong. The Lakers have too much of an advantage on the rebounds. But the Rockets keep proving y'all wrong every single time. It's the same story. It's starting to get old. Houston's small ball defense works. They have complete freedom. Everybody can go anywhere other than really, Austin Rivers is kind of light. But a lot of these guys, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, Robert Covington, Jeff Green. These guys, they have a little bit of size to them. They got a little bit of weight to them. Now, they're not no center. But considering they just have so much versatility to themselves. Robert Covington he's such a versatile player. James Harden has turned into one of the most versatile players in the NBA. He can guard 1 through 5. Y'all don't want to give him credit for that. Harden, he'll go out in one play, going up against LeBron James 1-on-1, or whoever it is, Kuzma he'll guard him 1-on-1. And the next play, he's in the post clamping up Anthony Davis. But y'all don't want to give him credit for that. Because back 3-4 years ago, the joke was James Harden's bad at defense, so that means he will be forever bad at defense. Now, That being said, it's still fun to clown James Harden for being bad at defense. I love me a good joker too. I really do. But when the rubber meets the road, I think that's the expression, I don't fucking know. But James Harden, he's a good defender now. He's in he's pushing the limits of being better than good. I don't want to say he's an elite defender, but the amount of versatility that he gives Mike D'Antoni on defense is ridiculous. PJ Tucker's another guy who he might not be, he's not as versatile as Harden because he can't really guard the perimeter. He can't guard quicker players as much as James Harden. And that being said, James Harden got lit up by I think it was it whoever it was in the first round, Chris Paul or whatever. He got lit up a few times because he's not the quickest defender, okay? But PJ Tucker is one of those guys, he can guard the post. Eric Gordon, Robert Covington has so much versatility. Jeff Green's got a bit of size to him. He's like 6'7", 6'8". He's got a bit of size to him. Bit concerned about Daniel House. He did leave the game. Russell Westbrook again. He's a quick defender. He's strong as fuck. And the Rockets, the way they shift on defense, the amount of energy they have, they just have more energy than the Lakers. That's what it looked like. And the Rockets, they didn't win this game on offense. They won it on defense, and I keep saying it over and over again, but defense is what wins you championships. It just is. It just is. And I hate to toot my own horn, but I'm going to say it again. And I've been saying it forever. AD and LeBron are going to get their points. AD went out there and he dropped 25 points. He got 14 rebounds. But in the fourth quarter when it matters, he was nowhere to be found. He just wasn't. I think he got an and one where he grabbed an offensive rebound and dominated him down there. But when you look at the fourth quarter, he didn't show up. He just did not show up. LeBron James is 2 of 7 from downtown. Minus 15 on the night for LeBron James. He played 36 minutes with minus 15. Guys Kyle Kuzma was minus 21. Rondo was a minus 10. Anthony Davis was a minus 6. Markieff Morris played 9 minutes and was a minus 10. That being said, Markieff Morris was in the game during that. I think it was just in that fourth quarter. I can't quite remember, but it was when Houston was starting to go off. Honestly, for me, this was a very satisfying game for me to watch. I don't have a lot to say about it, but when I'm making these nightly podcasts, which I would like to make more of, right off the dome, these are just my thoughts originally. Okay, if y'all want longer episodes, let me know. But ladies and gentlemen, it was good to see Jared Dudley in the game. Jared Dudley was in the game and he made one really good defensive play on James Harden. I just want to make sure everyone knows that he made one really good defensive play. But yeah, that's it. And he had a turnover and he committed a foul. Maybe that really good defensive play was a foul. I'm not sure. I kind of was just not paying attention to that. But I think Jared Dudley needs to be played a lot more. Jared Smith didn't get any playing time, which is too bad. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into this episode of Off the Dome. Big win for the Rockets. Come on, boys. Predictions for the remainder of the series real quick before I leave. Lakers are going to win the next 2 games. They're going to take a 2-1 series lead, and then the Houston Rockets are going to win 1, 2, and 3 in a row. They're going to close the series out in 6 games. If the Rockets get pushed to 7 games, if the Lakers and Rockets series goes to 7 games, the Lakers are going to win it because Game 7 LeBron cannot be stopped. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.